If you notice that your algorithm on TikTok has already changed, this is why. And it's not just TikTok, it is all of American media, culture, politics, and our institutions. I already know that they're going to suppress this video because this is the reason why they wanted to take TikTok over in the first place. They've already messed with my algorithm so much on my For You feed that they're putting all this Taylor Swift new album shit in my feed when I don't even fuck with it like that. Because what you guys need to understand is that this campaign to propagandize the country on behalf of the Israeli regime is so much bigger than TikTok. Here is just a few of the coordinated campaigns that they are engaged in right now. Hundreds of millions of dollars to target conservative Christians, leaked emails showing that CBS owners met with top Israeli generals in a scheme to spy on Americans. The regime has earmarked over $145 million in 2025 to weaponize social media and ChatGPT in its largest U.S. propaganda push since it began the genocide. They hired a U.S. firm to shape online discourse, including attempts to engineer how AI systems like ChatGPT, Grok, and Gemini respond to inquiries about the Israeli regime, aiming for 80% of its impressions to be on YouTube and Instagram. They're creating immersive experiences about October 7th, which is quite gross. They have got a massive new propaganda campaign that is specifically targeted at Christian conservatives in America. And of course, the influencer campaign called Project Esther, where they're paying $7,000, reportedly, according to FAIR filings, per propaganda post.
This is not about critical race theory on college campus. This is about Iran. Iran and Qatar have come up with a disinformation campaign that they are running through TikTok and Instagram that is massive.
I'm glad that Senator Van Hollen called this shit out because Van Jones literally just made all that up. There is less than zero evidence that Iran or Qatar is responsible for spreading fake news. No, what Van Jones is doing is what Zionists always do, which is every fucking accusation is a confession every single time. Because as I just showed you in that kind of rolling slide, they are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to propagandize Americans using all different types of tactics. The hundreds of millions of dollars they're spending on their influencer campaign under Project Esther. Hundreds of millions of dollars they are also spending to specifically target evangelical conservative Christians, conducting the largest church geofencing campaign in U.S. history. If you haven't already, go on Twitter and read this article from Gen X Girl. It is incredible how detailed her breakdown is, what they themselves call their 8-front war. Dropside a few weeks ago, another publication that you absolutely should be following, released a report where they talked about how the Ministry of Foreign Affairs commissioned American polling firms to perform a sweeping battery of surveys and focus group coupled with message testing aimed at rehabilitating Israel's image in the United States and Europe. And the same Oracle execs that it was reported they said, love Israel, maybe this isn't the job for you. It was also reported that they said Oracle sees itself as an activist organization, one whose goal is the advancement of Israel's colonization project. Safra Katz, the company's Israeli-American CEO, bluntly explained that any employee uncomfortable with supporting genocide should simply quit. We're not flexible regarding our mission, and our commitment to Israel is second to none. Again, folks, this is the CEO of the company Oracle that is owned by Larry Ellison, another Zionist billionaire, who has personally donated to the IOF. These are the people that are part of the consortium. Barry Weiss, who was running that really crappy propaganda rag, The Free Press, just signed a massive deal with CBS in which she will now be the editor-in-chief. Yes, the same CBS whose owner is David Ellison, son of Larry Ellison, who we just talked about, in which it was just reported that he met with a top Israeli general in a scheme to spy on Americans. The new owner of Paramount, David Ellison, participated in an Israeli government-led plot to surveil Americans and suppress pro-Palestine activists in the U.S., leaked emails show. Originally dubbed the 12 Tribe, a reference to the dozen Jewish billionaires solicited to underwrite the operation. Let me know if there's any of the articles I mentioned in this video that you would like me to do a longer video going into the articles more of. But suffice it to say, TikTok is obviously not the only media company. Google recently signed a $45 million contract with Netanyahu's office to spread Israeli propaganda. So when you notice things on TikTok, like the fact that you can't search that term, but you can search evil Muslims and even evil Christians, understand that that's not the only thing happening. That may just be what you see. A lot of it is just going to be what's happening in the background that you don't even notice. And remember, it's not just our media. Northwestern University of Chicago is blocking students from enrolling if they didn't complete an anti-Semitism training. Bro, imagine the right-wing heads exploding if somebody said that you couldn't get accepted into a college if you didn't do like an Ibram Kendi like anti-racist training. Where's Christopher Rufo? Unless you think our politicians are going to protect you from that, I'd like to remind you that 99.9% of them are bought off by AIPAC.